Greetings. I'll be reporting on my discussion meeting about parenting and relationships of the older generation versus the younger generation. I am a student of Liberty University, Lisa Bess, student of Liberty University. In preparation for my meeting, I met with my team, my group, my members on July 29th before the session, which took place on August 1st. Also on July 29th, I had them to do a 30-question parent survey to test their parenting style. We actually held the session on August 1st at 6 p.m. at Green Hill Baptist Church. The setup was tables and a circle of motion set up, with the members so everybody can be face to face. The camcorder was positioned on me as instructed in the directions. The purpose of the meeting again was to explore the differences between the older generation versus this generation, the parenting style, as well as the relationship. We will now transition into the dynamics, the content, and the process of my session. Again, it was in a dining hall. It was appropriate, quiet. Temperature of the room was reserved. It was fine. I reiterated the rules, the purpose of the meeting, as well as the topics that we would discuss. Introduce myself as the leader, them as the members, so everyone would know their role. And I explained to them that I was excited because this was my first time leading a group, and asked them to relax and just have fun and be honest. I also asked that everything remain confidential. I opened up the opening session, opening stage with an icebreaker and introduction, which really relaxed the group. Asked them to give me a description of what a family was to them, what a family consisted of. All of them pretty much share the characteristics of the fruit of the spirits for the family. Also asked them to identify what a family consisted of. And most of them said husband, wife, and children. I introduced the other 5 types of families to them, which included the single parent family, the extended family, grandparent family, the step parent family, a blended family as they call it, and the childless family, which is no children at all. The list of questions that I had outlined to ask, we got through some of them, but not all of them, because the discussion was so intense and so interesting and very beneficial for everybody with the gap between the ages of the parents. Everyone was relaxed and engaged, very informative from the older generation as well as the younger generation. We discussed the functional as well as the dysfunctional families, discussed the older generation as how they discipline, how they were brought up, for an example, how they could not sit in the room with others, while adults rather, while they were talking. Nowadays, younger generation, everybody sits in the same room. Also discussed how parents and the older generation worked in the fields, brought their own clothing and stuff, and had to wear hand-me-down clothes or passed down from sibling to sibling. Versus children of today, parents try to get them brand name clothing, try to provide everything they want for them, but not the necessities that they need. Also discussed many young parents that are raising raising children. They're young themselves, therefore that's why a lot of things are happening with our kids these days compared to the values our older generation set for us. After discussing many of these topics, I revealed the parenting survey that they had did at our pre-meeting to let them know what type of parent they was. We had the authoritative parent, we have the authoritarian parent, we had a permissive parent, and an uninvolved parent. The group members were surprised but agreed with the description of each parenting style and what their parenting style was. The leadership techniques I used went through the opening stage, the working stage, the closing stage. All those transitioned very well throughout the meeting. Did some guiding, reflecting with them, as well as summarizing throughout. One couple of times we got off track, but with the long-winded member Shirley. but got them back on track, summarized and got them back on track. Deepened the focus, got a little emotional with one of the members, Shirley, who expressed how her sons, rejected her pretty much because she couldn't provide for them. And we went a little deeper, focused on that with all the other members sharing. Also used effective listening. It lasted about an hour and 20 minutes, so I was pleased with that. We actually didn't want to close the session. As for how I would assess myself on a scale of 1 to 10, I think I did a 9. I need to work on cutting members off. Couldn't cut the older generation off out of respect, so I need to work on that, as well as sharing my experiences too much. I think I did well overall with all the listening, all the leadership skills that I had just mentioned. I did pretty well with that, but do need to work on cutting people off. And my conclusion, some of the highlights was the easy flow and the information and the feedback from the members. One of the young ladies, young mothers, Corsia, she said it was like a counseling session. She felt better. Miss Sister Darlene asked me to do it all over again. I was amazed by the different emotions in the room between the young and the old. And Minister Farrington, she was very informative about the parenting, and it shared some deep stuff. I learned how to address troubled and disrespectful children from one of the members as well, so it was beneficial for me in that point. My concluding thought would be, people are reared different ways, so we should be mindful of how we judge people because we do not know the life those individuals live. I thank you so much for listening to me as I present this discussion to you. Thank you.